Okay.
Just an update on Mr. Bailey.
All right. Before, I don't think not everybody knows of Bailey, so I'll preface by that we had start with the fact of all the dogs that were here and the ones that weren't, the one that wasn't here.
Okay. So when I went back to Texas, the one dog that wasn't here was Mr. Bailey. He was about 3 months shy of his 17th birthday. He's a little poodle. We've had him since a puppy. And he was my first small dog. And Mr. Bailey's been declining. We've known for some time that he was going to pass. It was just that with chaos and moving and me being in PA and then in Texas and then out in California for work and then back and forth, didn't really know how that was going to play out. I ended up deciding to take him with me to Texas so that I would be with him to monitor that. Ended up going, he stayed with Mark while I went to California, so he ended up driving with Mark to PA, and he hung on until I returned, and I had Friday with him, and Saturday we knew it was the end. Yeah, I've been around this enough times to recognize it, and it was time. I just kept him comfortable, gave him his favorite foods, which is chicken, and when he stopped being that interested in the chicken, we offered him some tuna. He licked it a little bit. So Saturday night, I just stayed with him, and I held him the whole night in a lounge chair, tried to get some sleep. It's really hard. He was going to be going soon. I went down at 3 a.m. to open up a can of tuna and offer him some. And I woke Mark up, and we knew. So we asked God just to take him, and I've been telling Bailey, you go when you need to go. Mommy's okay, you go. Anyway, so somewhere maybe in the 4 or 5 o'clock hour, he passed. And then about an hour and a half later, we got up to do Hope Ministries. So Mr. Bailey is probably going to get buried on the farm once we own it, or we know a place, since it's all kind of new. But yeah, so I lost Bailey. So lots of tears. But I'm so glad he's not suffering. That was the hardest part, was watching him suffer.
Right.
And I had been debating. I had actually a vet appointment here in town, not an appointment, but an arrangement that I would get an appointment for him. In fact, they called me back this morning, and I let him know that he passed, and that was tricky. It's like, do I spend the money on a plane ticket? And it's just, it gets expensive, flying dogs around and then paying for appointments and euthanasia and all that. And in the end, God was good, and I spent the money where it needed to be spent, and that was to keep him by my side. So it was time, which is very special. Very special.
But he's here. He's here, and he's always going to be here.
Yeah. He's here. And he's here, and I'll see him again.
Yes.
I'll see him again. He'll be, amongst the goat pile, the dog pile that I'll be under, hopefully, one day.
Oh.
But so we're actually down to 7.
So they're down to 7.
All our forever fosters and everybody.
Right. Oh my goodness, Jeffrey. Yeah. Jeff sent 1,000 stars. Megan sent 200 stars. This was not a moment to be sending stars, guys. Keep your stars. Yeah. Keep your stars. Send them to Hope Ministries on Sunday, or Fixin' Up the Farmhouse. When can we anticipate me to share that page? All you need is a profile picture.
Okay.
Remember,
right,
I'm excited. You can change the profile picture.
Yeah,
Cindy, thanks for the stars.
It's tough. I fall more in the Lauren category. I get reluctant to show anything until I feel like it's perfect. And
right, you're going to have to show your imperfections. That's the problem. So, yes, everyone, yes, it was a dog, Joanne.
I need a bleep button.
So she did warn us. She did warn me. She says, oh my gosh, if I start going live, they're going to hear me drop some bombs. And I was like, really? Because I've only heard it like once.
And that's when I had a major bolt of electricity shoot through my body trying to rescue a goat.
There's a lot of people that want to follow.
Fence.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. There was a moment in time out there right along that fence line. You can see it in the distance. We had a goat stuck in there, head first, getting zapped. Lori.
Head and back leg.
Head and back leg wrapped up in a very high voltage fence. and it was screaming. Lori went back there, and everybody knows how high voltage that is. She
every time I touched that goat,
held,
my dog was out.
yeah, and she held the fence and peeled it off.
Intentionally just grab the fence, grab the goat, get his little neck loose, and push it. And the whole time I'm feeling the thing, and I'm just like, really loud.
Lori spells her name just the way you spelt it, and then Weston, W-E-S-T-O-N. Lori Weston.
Like Lauren, but I-E.
I-E, exactly. So yeah, I will share it, guys. If you're following me, if you're following SFF, we will share the Fixing Up the Farmhouse page with you once she has a profile picture. You can probably find it right now, but there is nothing there. There's nothing there.
There's nothing there. We did have our inspection this morning.
Right. So can we talk about that real quick?
Yeah.
So Lauren,
You're willing to talk about it on.
we're going to talk about it on live. So she hired an inspector. All right, an inspector to come look at the farmhouse. I have never hired an inspector because I know there's a crap load wrong with the place. And I usually just fix it as needed, not ahead of time. Now, they're going to do it right. We didn't quite do it right. The animals kind of changed our direction and our theme for the farmhouse. And we're now just kind of handing over the baton. So last night I walked Lori through the entire inside of the property, the basement, to the bedrooms, and I told her about all the quirks, all of the things that I believe might be wrong or are wrong, or
understanding what was connected to what and where it went, and that saved a whole lot of time with the inspector, because I basically parroted to him what you parroted to me, so that he wasn't trying to figure out what went to what. He just inspected what was in front of him.
Right.
Saved
Perfect.
a lot of time. We got a lot of information.
All right. So what exactly, Suzanne, what did he say about the electrical panel? The panel, and specifically the panel. Did he say this is dangerous?
That was in there.
What else did the inspector say?
Wow, what a mess. Might have been in there. I said he has different needs, different seasonally, and since it's what he does, he'll just pull a panel out and switch out 1 amp for another amp. And since he's switching stuff out often, it's open, it's exposed, because he's in there making the most of it. And I said, but he has said that he's going to clean it up and put the cover back on before we take possession of it.
Correct.
So, actually didn't spend a lot of time on it.
Okay, so what else did he say? What else do we have?
For the sump, we definitely want to get that alarm working, even if we have to purchase another one.
Okay.
For the septic.
The septic alarm,
he said
correct.
You definitely want to know if the pump's not working before you get a house flooded or a yard flooded or whatever.
Right.
So I was like, okay, that's words of wisdom. And then just some code stuff like cover up boxes.
A lot of junction boxes that need cover panels on it. What about Joyce? Thank you for the stars. Lauren mentioned there is in the cast iron there's some cracks.
Yeah, both sewer lines are cracked.
So one coming from the right and one coming from the left.
The sewer line from the addition toilet and the sewer line.
Oh, so he went down the crawl space.
No, actually, it's visible from the basement.
Oh,
it's
okay.
Along the P-trap part.
Okay, got it.
Where it comes into.
Right. Oh my gosh, the stars are flying through. Joyce, Angela, Linda, thank you so much. I want you to save those stars for Lori. She's going to have a huge bill in front of her. She's got to fix sewer pipes and electrical. What else do we have on the list?
We're buying it as is.
You are, unless there was something dramatic and crazy, expensive foundation-wise. What did he say about the foundation on the corner of the house?
Now, he's not an engineer.
Okay.
But, the only thing he saw that would need one was what we already knew about, that bathroom. They put too much
weight on the corner.
Weight on that corner, and it's not holding it up. And I told him, well, we're actually planning on that not existing the way it does today, and essentially that bathroom won't even exist. That's
right.
Going to be open space, so it's a
non-issue.
It's a
non-issue for now.
For now.
As long as you don't have a pool party in your bathtub with Mark when you celebrate.
You guys had already told me, don't fill it up, don't take a bath.
Right, just take a shower.
Just take a shower.
Just take a shower.
So that we already knew. There's no surprise there.
Okay.
He was actually really great. He said, I'm just going to label them.
We just had a goat fall off.
Right. like critical or urgent or take care right away, life safety stuff, like
Okay.
you know, what a fire comes with. And there might have been a couple in there. And
Couple of urgent might have a fires.
like could have a fire, could have an issue, just because you just never know when it's going to happen,
Right.
and of course it's going to happen at a time on a weekend when you can't get a hold of anybody unless you want to pay a premium to have to come out.
Right.
So that's why he bumped it to the top of the list, just because it's unpredictable.
Okay.
And then just as soon as possible, meaning when you have the funds and you can get to it. And then he, with the renovation is what he said, labeled other stuff. You know what? Like in the main house with some of the electrical stuff, he's like, when you renovate the main house, do the electrical when you do the main house. But you don't have to do it today. So,
Are you still buying the house?
You're still buying the house.
Sweet. All right. That was the biggest thing because we told her as is, and then she said, well, we'd like an inspection, barring any major catastrophic fixes,
Yes.
we will
just
still
need
buy
to-
the house.
Well,
So.
and we told him, you know, if a single thing is going to be $50,000 to repair it just to make it livable, or $75,000 or $100,000 for a safety issue, then it's going to put it out of our budget.
Right. So there you go.
But other than that, we're already planning on. I mean, and the type of home it is, it's a stone farmhouse, so everything's exposed, if you will. And
Right.
because they've already opened stuff up, there's not a, you know, the scary part when you have a property that you're going to renovate is what are the unknowns. Well, this particular property, because everything is outside of the stone walls, there's not a lot of buried stuff. There's a degree of confidence that comes with this kind of renovation versus something where everything's all pristine and closed up.
Correct. Yes. In some houses, it can look amazing on the surface, and once you
Get
open
into
up
it.
the drywall, you find horrible, horrible stories about people tucking uncapped wires behind, or I've even seen in bathrooms where they've developed mold, right? And what happened was, with the particular renovation, oh my gosh, Amber, you're going to
Or even
hurt yourself.
pests.
Or pests.
Even pests, where if you can't see the floor joists, how do you know
Mm-hmm.
if they're structurally sound anymore? You know, bridge beams, all that. But in
Yep.
this case, well, there you go.
There was a lady, Sandy, Lauren's friend, and I renovated her bathroom, and she had mold in there. And when I got to the attic, I had to tear the plywood up, and then I had to look down there. They never connected a vent pipe to the soffit. So all it was doing was backing up into the bathroom. And they put insulation over top of it and covered it up. So it passed inspection, but they never put a 4-inch line just going over to the soffit, and the whole bathroom filled with mold over years, and they were breathing that in and breathing that in. So the cool thing about here is that everything is fairly accessible. There are a few certain things but there's no vent fan in the bathroom right now. That's why they have the windows. But all right, if you were just joining us, let me just tune in and tell everybody what's going on. Sarah, where'd you go? Thank you for everything. Thank you for all the information. Sorry about Bailey. I'm glad that you shared that. So if you are just tuning in, Fixin' Up the Farmhouse will be a page on Facebook that Lori's going to start. It's already started, where you can watch.
I probably won't watch the comments because
She's a very sensitive
I'm a
person.
sensitive person, and I push myself physically beyond what I probably should.
This is what's
So
going to
I
make it.
cry a lot.
This is going to make great content. We get to
cry a
watch
lot.
you.
I hurt myself a lot.
Oh, this is going to be so much good content.